Corgi. He's sliding. Hi, this is Sally Morgan, physical therapist, craniosacral therapist, and Tellington T-Touch practitioner for animals and people. And this is Tristan, he's a Corgi, and we're here for an episode of Conversations with a Corgi. And I am sure you are digging out of the snow up there in South Dakota, Danny. Anyway, I want to continue our discussion today about fascia and ways to release fascia that you might be interested in for yourself or your animals. And we're a little late getting on today because Tristan is not feeling well. He did not want to play squeakies last night. Things are coming and going okay in and out the Corgi, but he is not himself. I might have to call my sister today and see what's going on. Tris, what do you think? Not even sure if it's digestive or orthopedic, but he is not 100%. So we'll see how he wanted to do this, so we'll see how he does. So today what we're going to talk about is something I learned about through T-Touch maybe 20 or 30 years ago, and it's an Asian technique called skin rolling. And what skin rolling does is really pick the skin up away from the muscle tissue under it, and you go down the body picking up the skin and pushing with your thumb to break up the fascial restrictions between the skin and the tissue underneath. Now, this can be very, very painful if you are a person who is somewhat dehydrated, or let's say you have a very low body fat index. If you are any kind of a runner or a swimmer and you're very slim, this can be quite painful because you're not going to have as much hydration and fatty tissue and fluid between your skin and the tissues underneath. So I don't necessarily recommend that we all go out and try to find someone who does skin rolling, but skin rolling became inchworm in Tellington T-Touch work. And inchworm is a profoundly wonderful T-Touch. It is really good to connect the front and back and side to side of your animal's body. It is really good for dogs with DM, for all of my Corgi friends. And it's a really nice way, I think, to work with lymph. Because if you do it with a light enough touch, you really are affecting the lymphatic vessels, which are, in fact, just under the skin surface and in the skin over the body. So I will show you on Tristan if he can bear it. Tristan, I think you have to face the other way because I can't do it this way, honey. Turn this way, hon. We're going to flip the Corgi. Buns this way. I'm sorry, honey. I don't know why you're not feeling well, but anyway, so now I'll try to show you skin rolling. So what you would do is pick up a big hunk of the skin, and with him it's just going to be fur, and then you slide your thumbs along, and I don't know if you can see how I'm rolling up the skin. Now he's pretty loose, and I'm not doing this very hard. So, but if you have, you know, a Rottweiler, a Pointer, a Greyhound, dog like that, this is not going to be easy, and it's not going to be fun for them. So you're just picking up the skin and sliding it, and you really are kind of breaking up those fascial restrictions between the skin and the layers under it, which could be muscle in most cases. But in T-Touch, see, I'd skin roll this way, T-Touch this way. In T-Touch, we go much lighter. Your thumbs are dragging around, or it's not inchworm, I'm sorry. It's tarantulas pulling the plow. Inchworm is kind of similar. With inchworm, you go in and apart. But with tarantulas pulling the plow, your thumbs are dragging along like a little plow, and your fingers are doing the itsy bitsy spider walk. And it makes you go, whoo, it feels really good. So with that on Tristan, see, my fingers are doing the walking and my thumbs are coming along behind, smoothing over the hair. This you want to go in the direction of the hair. You can do it down the legs. You can do it down the front legs. It feels really good. And I'm having a hard time doing it in this direction because I don't bend this way so well. But it really is itsy bitsy spider, and your thumbs are just dragging along behind. You're burpy. Maybe it is digestive, hon. We'll do some more of these tarantulas for you. So Linda developed tarantulas because she just happened to do that when she was connecting with, I think it was a horse, and just her fingers just naturally did this little way to connect. And what it became was the tarantulas pulling the plow. And then we found it had really wonderful abilities to make nerve connections from the front to the back of the body as you do it this way down the legs. This is what is so good for dogs with DM, doing this way and down the back legs. And if you, I can hardly reach, but you want to do it all the way to the toes and to the ground. And that is related to Chinese skin rolling, but way different in its effects, and certainly it is not painful to have people do tarantulas pulling the plow on you. And it is, can you see? There we go. Itsy bitsy spider, and you go all the way down his leg. And again, notice the directions I'm doing it. I'm doing it the way the fascia goes, which is up and down in the legs, side to side in the middle, and a little bit diagonal in the butt. So when I get down to the butt, we're going diagonal and down. So that's a little bit about tarantulas pulling the plow. And if you have a dog like a greyhound or a pointer or an Arabian horse with thin skin and not such heavy muscling as would you have in a dressage horse or a warm blood breed, these tarantulas can be really useful to kind of move fascia if you do them pretty heavy. Meaning I'm just using a pressure. Remember, in T-Touch our pressures go 1 to 10. On dogs, we barely go up to 5. But if you're doing like a 4 with these, with your thumbs making that 4 connection, you really are affecting the fascia underneath. And you're just smoothing out the fibers and giving them a sense of which direction to go in. So tarantulas pulling the plow, as well as skin rolling, are techniques that can be used to relieve fascial tension. Now, if you were a person and you wanted to go find somebody that did skin rolling in your area, some massage therapists might do this. It's a pretty heavy technique. And it is really useful for people that have, let's say, a lot of stubborn tension in their upper back and shoulders, or people that have had certain diseases. It can be really useful to restore function. So even though it can hurt, depending on who's doing it and what your condition is, and I certainly recommend being fully hydrated before you go for a skin rolling session, it can be really useful to break up some stubborn restrictions. It's great over scar tissue, for instance. If where I had some scar tissue where I had some surgery on my chest, and I in fact did skin rolling there, really hard tarantulas both directions to keep those fibers. Remember, they're lined up. We want them lined up. We don't want them in a bunch like this, like gum in your hair. So pushing down a little hard with those tarantulas can just give the fibers the information that you want them to straighten out and reorganize into a more functional pattern. So tarantulas pulling the plow is something that you might be able to do with your animal over scar tissue, or in an area where they have restrictions from an old injury. For instance, they might have had ACL surgery years ago, and doing these tarantulas down the back and down the leg can really, and I wouldn't do them deeper than a 3 pressure, which is what feels comfortable on your eyelid or under your eye. If I were working with like a dog after his ACL surgery, even 3 years later, I would be pretty light with that. So there's another technique that you can explore as a way to relieve tension and fascia in your body or your animal's body. So we will be back tomorrow, and we will talk more about some other techniques that can help bring fascia into alignment and bring your animal greater mobility and greater health and greater flexibility. And Tristan, I hope you feel better, honey. I just don't know. When he doesn't want to play squeakies, I don't think that's ever happened. He went and got the squeaky and brought it back to me, and then he laid down. Like, that's not usual, huh? Did you hurt yourself going out in the ice? We had a new pack of turkey yesterday. It might be a little digestive upset, although he has been eating. So, thanks for joining us today. We will be back tomorrow, hopefully on time. And everybody have a great day. Thanks for joining us. You have a good day, Danny. Tristan, people want you to feel better. He says, I do. I want to feel better too. I want to play more squeakies. So we'll see you tomorrow. We're supposed to have a meltdown today out there. I'm so excited because my front steps are so icy. I was so concerned for my clients coming in yesterday, but they all made it. And today, hopefully it'll melt and I can clear it off the steps. You want a treat, don't you? He says, yeah, my appetite's good for treats. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day.